guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the new Wet n Wild Crystal Cavern collection. And they were so super nice and sent me this entire box to share with you guys. So I've been testing it out over the past week or so. And the reason that I didn't show it in my Sunday haul, even though it came in last week, was just because I didn't want to show it twice. I didn't want to unbox everything and then show you guys a review later on because I knew I was going to do the review early this week. So inside the box, we have 4 trio eyeshadow palettes. There's a face mist. There's 2 different highlighters, there's 4 lip glosses, and also 4 Rollerball perfumes, which is something really new and different from Wet n Wild. And when you look inside the box, all the shades are grouped together by each type of crystal. So you have Rose Quartz, which is supposed to symbolize love, Jade for prosperity, you have Amethyst, which is for balance, and then you have Clear Quartz, which is for healing. So in each little grouping, you have an eyeshadow palette, a lip gloss, and a Rollerball perfume. I did 4 separate looks using each type of crystal this past week, so let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. So first up, let's start with Rose Quartz, and this one is a pink collection. It's really, really pretty. In the eyeshadow palette, you have a pink satiny shade and then also 2 more glittery shades, one that's like a bronzy pink and then the other one is more of a lavender pink. And then the lip gloss is almost like a corally pink. It's really, really pretty and it's very pigmented as well. It does have some glitter particles in it, but it's very smooth going on, feels really hydrating, and it doesn't leave your lips feeling gritty. And then here's the look that I created. I used that pink satiny shade all over my lid and up into my crease. And that's the one thing I will say about these eyeshadow palettes is that none of them have a matte shade. So I was pretty much using the satiny shade in each palette as a crease color for the most part. And those satiny shades are really, really difficult to pick up with a brush. So I was using my finger for all of them. They're very firmly pressed into the pan. So I probably wouldn't even bother using a brush with it because you really don't pick up much of anything. I highly recommend using your finger when it comes to these palettes. And then I used that pinky bronze shade all over my lid, and then I topped it with that more pinky lavender color. And the 2 shades mixed together look super gorgeous as a lid shade. The only thing with these though is that they are not overly intense shimmer shades. So I did spritz a little setting spray on my finger before I applied them to my lid just to give them a little bit more shine, because on their own they're just a little bit more sheer, and I'm finding that with all of these eyeshadow palettes in this collection. If you love a really heavily pigmented eyeshadow like the ones that we're used to seeing from Wet n Wild, these are a little bit more on the sheer side, and I think that they were just going for more of a soft ethereal look with these. And then as far as the Rose Quartz perfume, I'm gonna try my best to describe these for you guys, but I'm not the best at fragrance descriptions. So this one to me smells like rose right off the bat. It definitely has a rose top note. It's also a little bit more of a floral scent for sure. It does have a hint of sweetness in the base, so it's not an overly sweet fragrance, but there is a little bit of sweetness in there. It's not completely 100% floral. And it kind of reminds me of something that would be like at Victoria's Secret. It's reminding me of something. I just can't think of what it is at the moment, but I really do enjoy this one a lot. I think it smells really nice. But the one thing that I do want to mention about this fragrance formula is that when you first put your nose up to them, you kind of smell alcohol a little bit. And in that way, they sort of remind me of like one of those fragrance mists where it's not a perfume, but it's just more like a body spray. So they're very, very light and they're not super long lasting either. I can get maybe like 2 hours out of them, and you are just putting them on your pulse points rather than spritzing them all over. So unless somebody's getting really close to you, like giving you a hug or something like that, they're not going to smell it on you most likely. You're really just going to smell it on yourself, and even after a little while it doesn't smell like anything anymore. So they're not very strong. They're very super light fragrances, so just something to keep in mind. And then the next collection is Clear Quartz, and this one is more of a neutral collection. So you have a satiny taupe shade in there. You also have a shimmery champagne, as well as more of a silvery satin shade. And then the lip gloss in this collection, even though it looks white in the tube, it actually goes on clear. It's more of a lip topper type of formula, so it's not as pigmented as the Rose Quartz one, but it does have a really beautiful duochrome shift in there and a lot of sparkle as well. So for this look, I used the satiny taupe color all over my lid and up to my crease, and this is one of those ones that was really difficult to pick up. So I applied it with my finger first, and then I blended it out with a crease brush. And then I dipped into that champagne shade, and I used this again wet with my finger, and then just dabbed that all over my lid. And then I'm also wearing the gloss by itself, so you can see it's really sheer. You can see my natural lip color through it. It just adds sort of a glowy, glittery sheen to my lips. And then as far as the Rollerball perfume for this one, This one is definitely a coconut scent. It kind of reminds me in a way of the Physicians Formula butter perfume, the one that comes in those big kits. So if you like that, but you didn't want to have to purchase a kit every time, this might be a good alternative because you can buy it by itself, but it definitely is like a coconut and vanilla type scent. It's really nice. The only thing I would say though is it's not as strong as the Physicians Formula one, and it is again in rollerball form, so you can't spray it all over. You're really just putting this on your pulse points. So this one definitely wears closer to the body and not as many people will smell it on you. So if you like really soft perfumes, again, I think you would like this one. If you like something a little stronger, I would say still stick with the Physicians Formula, but it's very, very close to that one. And then next up we have the Amethyst collection, and this is a really gorgeous cool toned purple palette. You have 2 of the satiny shades and then 1 that's more glittery, and the lip gloss is one of the more pigmented ones similar to the Rose Quartz. It's a really gorgeous berry purple shimmer shade, and I would say out of all of them, this one probably has the least amount of glitter to it. So I found that when I was wearing this on my lips, it wasn't overly shiny like the rest of them, which I really did love. And for the look that I created, I'm wearing the gloss. And then for this look, I used that mid-tone purple shade all over my lid up to my crease. And that one is more sheer than it looks in the pan, definitely. I had to build it up a lot, and it was really difficult to pick up even with my fingers. And then for the outer corner, I used that really glittery dark purple shade and just applied that to the outer third of my eye. And then I went in with that lavender color that is so super beautiful. And on top of the deeper purple shade, it turned it almost like a bluish purple. It is absolutely stunning. And while I absolutely love the way the look came out, I did struggle with the satiny shade in my crease and also that lighter lavender color. I did have to wet it, and it took a lot of building up to get it to look the way that I wanted it to. So I do like the end result. It was just a little bit of a struggle to get these eyeshadows to work on my eyes. And then when it comes to the Rollerball perfume in this one is probably my favorite out of the whole collection. It's fresh, but also warm and a little bit sweet at the same time. It kind of reminds me of like the Glossier You perfume, where it might have just a little hint of musk in it, but it's not an overly musky fragrance. It's more sweet than anything. I like sweet and kind of fresh. It's like a skin-like scent, kind of like when you go to put on like your boyfriend or your husband's sweater and it kind of smells like him, a little bit of detergent, and then like that warm scent of maybe like his cologne that he was wearing that day. It's just really nice. I love this one so much. It's just like a really cozy, snuggly scent. Those are my favorite. And then the last collection is Jade, and this is the one that I'm wearing today. And this one has a really gorgeous selection of greens. You have a really deep, shimmery green, and then you have a beautiful mid-tone satin green, as well as a really light green shimmer that is absolutely gorgeous on the eyes. The gloss in this one is more like a topper similar to the clear quartz, so it doesn't have a lot of color in it at all. It really just is a clear gloss with some green glitter in it. So here's the look close up, and I used that mid-tone green all over the lid. This one, again, really difficult shade to work with. I had to pick it up with my finger and apply multiple coats just to build it up, and then I ended up blending it up into my crease with a brush afterwards. And then I took a brush and dipped it into that really deep forest green shade and applied that to the outer third of my lid. And then in the center of my lid, I applied that really pale green shimmer. I love this one. I didn't even have to wet this one. This shadow is beautiful on its own. And then when it comes to the gloss, I was a little bit worried it was gonna make my lips look green or have a greenish cast, but it really didn't. It just looks like a clear gloss with some glitter in it. And to be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of these glittery glosses because I find that they kind of accentuate my lip lines a little bit more. I usually tend to go for glosses that don't look quite this metallic. And then the Rollerball perfume for this one is definitely more like green and clean and herbal and kind of like a woodsy scent. It's very fresh. I like this one a lot too. I really like all of these scents, surprisingly, and I'm not normally like that, but I think just because none of them are overly strong or overpowering, they're just really nice, light and fresh scents for the most part. So next up, let's talk about this MegaGlo highlighter. This is described as a bouncy highlighter infused with light-catching pearls to create a soft, natural glow or a dramatic, luminous look. Now this one is a cream formula. It's similar to ColourPop's highlighters, if you've ever tried those before, the Super Shock ones. It's really super pigmented in one swipe, and I tend to love cream highlighters because they just melt into your skin rather than sitting on top. So I like to just dab them on with a sponge and just really blend them in, and they look really natural. But but this one is anything but natural in the sense that it is incredibly shiny and metallic. So if you like a highlight that you can pretty much see from space, you'll really enjoy this one, I think. It's really pretty. And then next up we have these MegaGlo Brightening Rocks, and these are just little chunks of highlighter in a jar, and there's a few different colors in here. You have purple and white and pink and like a light blue, and you can take your brush and just swirl it in there all together, which is what I did for this swatch. But if you did want to separate them out and use just one individual color, you could always take them out, so that's an option as well. And when I first swatched this out, it didn't seem as intense as the cream one, but then when I applied it to my face, I mean, it actually really does pack quite a punch. So it's not as intense, I would say, but it's not a subtle highlighter either. So there's definitely no subtle highlighters in this collection. And then last but not least, we have the MegaGlo Face Mist, and this one is described as a face mist with lavender essential oil to calm and brighten the complexion while setting and refreshing the skin. And just like Wet n Wild's other setting sprays, this one has such a fine mist to it. It's amazing. It smells so good. I love the lavender scent in this. It's not just a straight up lavender, it's like a fresh lavender scent. It smells so good. I'm loving this spray, and I've been using it every single day because I love the scent so much. I don't necessarily notice it like making my makeup last longer. It just feels refreshing and it smells really good. That's mainly why I've been using it. Okay, so just to recap, I would say I absolutely love the face mist, and I think the highlighters are great as well, especially if you love a really intense highlight. I have mixed feelings on the eyeshadow palettes just because they're kind of difficult to work with. I do love the way that most of my looks came out with them. It just took a little extra effort to get there. You know, I had to wet some shadows and I did have to use my fingers. So it's not Wet n Wild's formula that we're used to, like in their larger palettes. I find those to be much better, much easier to work with than these are. As far as the lip glosses go, I like them. They're not my favorite thing in the world, especially because they're a little bit more shimmery than what I would normally wear. The two topper shades I'm not really likely to wear because I usually like a little bit of color on my lips. The pink one I found was just a little bit too shimmery. I did like the purple one though. And then as far as the fragrance rollerballs go, I liked all of the scents. I would wear any of them, honestly, but I just was kind of disappointed in the longevity. They really don't last super long, and they mostly smell of alcohol at first before they kind of dry down. So in that way, they remind me of more of a fragrance mist, which really, those don't last a long time either, and it's not something that I normally reach for. Usually if I'm wearing fragrance, it's because I want to be able to smell it throughout the day. So even though I loved all of the scents, I was disappointed in how long they wear on me. All right, guys, so that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, definitely don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And also, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below. What do you think of this collection? Have you found it in your local stores yet? Have you tried anything? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!